Dude, we're making this happen here with one of the busiest guys in Christian Surfers as I knock over both our waters. Just going to fast for 40 minutes on this podcast without water. Aloha, everybody. It's Mark Sawyer-Chu, host of the Christian Surfers podcast. We just wanted to say a special thanks to Almond Surfboards and Trustless Property Management to thank them for their support and love. Those guys love the Lord. We wouldn't be able to tell the stories of Jesus from all around the world through this ministry without those guys. Almond Surfboards, based in Costa Mesa, California, since 2007. They've been building timeless boards and just helping families and friends just surf the everyday average waves, but making it fun and remembering the joy of surfing. Beautiful boards from mid-lengths and longboards to fishes and shortboards. Go by, check them out. Really fun merch too, and they do a great job building community. Gary Ward and Bryce and the team over at Trustless Property Management, based in San Clemente, absolute legends as well, who love the Lord. And if you have a property that you want a family-owned business that you can trust to operate it, or looking for a place or a home to purchase, I did my place and bought our home through them. Those are great guys to work with. So Trustless Property Management and Almond Surfboards, God bless you guys, and thank you for all your support with Christian Surfers.
Hey guys, and aloha. It's Mark Sawyer-Chu, your host of the Christian Surfers podcast, Talk Story, where we talk Jesus and talk with surfers that love Jesus. Please tune in to hear some amazing stories of faith and the kingdom, and we'll see you soon.
This guy is amazing. I love this guy. I am so thankful and grateful right now to be sitting down with this guy. He is in the middle of working 80-hour days here at the 2025 Christian Surfers Outer Banks camp out in North Carolina. And you're literally going back to back down to Florida and off to the next Christian Surfers event. You are one busy missionary, brother.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy.
Well,
crazy.
We are so stoked to have you.
Appreciate
About
it,
time on the Christian Surfers Talk Story podcast, where we talk about Jesus and talk to people that love Jesus, such as this full-time staff, amazing missionary, Reed Burr, and his family. You've got your wife and kids here. And I love seeing you because you bring where you can, you bring your family. And I've usually got my family, and I know our kids are close in age, so they get to have some friends to hang out with. So but I love seeing you at all our events. So special to be hanging out with you here. Special thanks to Liberty Christian Fellowship here.
This is the hookup.
It's
crazy, dude.
Jen, we want to thank you and Evan for having us at the church and all the pastors and staff here for hosting Christian Surfers for so many years. And then we filmed in Jen's office, and I felt so bad because I thought it was the nursery, but it was her office that she gratefully, and generously gives up anytime someone else needs it. And so we filmed the podcast with Hannah Leary from FCA here, and then we didn't even know that they had this secret little podcast studio with a vintage radio right behind us. So this is a great setup. So God bless you guys, and Casey and the Cristianos and Jen and the whole Christian Surfers crew that go to church here. And these guys have generously hosted our East Coast camp out, which has grown over the last couple years. And we've had people now join us from Peru and Canada and all over the country come to this camp out now. And typically really good waves and weather. But I guess this year it changed. But
we got skunks, man.
It's all good. But
it was a lot of fun, though.
A lot of fun, and we didn't get skunked with fellowship because it's still an amazing time of connection. And you know what? Everyone else would be surfing their brains out right now, including you and I. But because it's a lay day, we're actually getting some work done. So we're doing this podcast.
It's a trade-off, I guess.
That's right. Well, we know you got jumped to work and continue to shoot some amazing videos and photos. But Reed, I wanted you on the podcast because seeing you over the course of the last couple of years, I think you've been on staff with us now 3 years, and just seeing how hard you and your family work, not just for Christian Surfers, but for the kingdom of God, and the quality of storytelling that you have brought to the ministry. I'm a big fan of. I'm a huge kook when it comes to media. And I was very intimidated to interview you right now because you are the master of media for Christian surfers here in the U.S. And so Reed helped me graciously set this podcast set up correctly, maybe for the first time in my life. And but you, more importantly, I was in one of your sessions, which you absolutely crushed it at with your wife Priscilla. Family on Mission. It was a workshop that you led here the other day at the Outer Banks campout. And you just shared so much great insight because, you know, you grew up as this missionary kid abroad, which we'll get into. I think you grew up in, Kenya from the age of 4 and had this amazing journey, especially with the Christian Surfers Bible that you got there on your lap, which I think is one of our first editions. And we're in the middle right now of raising money for the Surfathon to print the latest version of the Christian Surfers Bible in Spanish. And so I think that's why I was like, all these things, the stars align. I'm like, we got to get this guy and pull him aside for at least 30 minutes and talk to him about his life and his testimony real quick so we could get you back to the family and work. But Reed, such an honor to sit down with you. And you're one of my heroes in Christian Surfers. And you're an amazing brother. You've helped us on the American Surf Magazine side with business and printing and just all your connections. And you're landlocked. You're inland.
Yeah, dude.
You're a true missionary.
Yeah, 2 hours away from the closest break.
That's right. And so you're committed when you go surfing. The rest of us are taking it for granted. But let's talk about that. Let's go back to your childhood. Your parents were missionaries. So obviously you were growing up in a Christian family, but that obviously is not always the easiest thing to do, especially somewhere remote like West Africa as a child, because it's different when your parents are the missionaries and you're just kind of along for the ride. You talked a little bit about that in the session that you led with Family on Mission, but what was that like growing up for you, and did you grow up surfing?
We moved to Kenya in 1996. And then,
were you born in Florida?
No, I was actually born in California. Yeah, right outside of, or I guess LA. Yeah.
There you go. Torrance, from Cali to Florida, I followed you. I copied you.
It's kind of weird because I moved when I was 9 days old from California down to Texas, which my parents worked at a church, yada yada. Long story short, they ended up going on as full-time missionaries. Went to Kenya in '96. And that's where I just absolutely fell in love with Africa, and that's still what I would consider like home in a sense.
Wow.
But yeah, we moved around quite a bit, but always ended up returning back to Kenya. I did live in West Africa for a year and a half in a country called Ghana, capital city of Accra, and that's where I really picked up surfing. I started learning when I was about 7. There's a barrier reef along the coast of Kenya, so it's really difficult. Like if you want to surf, we put on booties and we walk out at low tide. So it's a far hike. It's
across the reef.
Oh yeah, because there's basically no water in the bay at all.
Yeah, surf booties just to because you're walking on
for the rocks.
Yeah,
the coral.
And how far were you walking out to get to the waves?
Oh man, it's at the time when I was that young, it seemed like a quarter mile. I know it wasn't, but it was a long walk, dude. For like kind of some not so great waves.
Really?
Yeah, it depends. There's seasons, but
and was it Americans that taught you, or foreigners, or was it locals? Your dad?
So since I was born in California, my dad taught at a high school, and his high school students ended up teaching him. He got some cheap, beat up board at a garage sale, and his students would take him out and teach him, and so that's where he fell in love with it, and then sort of started passing that down to us.
Amazing.
As he was, raising us in the house. So
super cool. So you're 7 years old. Your dad's in full-time ministry, and you guys are missionaries in Ghana. And he starts taking you out, having learned in California. But, and I'll teaching you in Africa.
I'll throw this in there because it's not super random. Like, oh, my family moved to Africa, because before that, my dad and his family, they were missionaries in West Africa.
So you're like third, fourth generation missionaries.
Yeah. They were in Liberia and Congo. So yeah, it's a generational thing.
Yeah. Well, he's got to be proud of you for now working full time at Christian Surfers. And we're in 38 countries and counting, and just launching Philippines, South Korea, Hong Kong within the last couple years, and so it's so cool. And just your background's perfect for us because you're international.
Yeah, it's crazy. God's got a sense of humor, man. Because I sort of always had that conversation with God, like, I'll do anything you want, just don't make me a missionary, you know. And so here I am,
labor of love.
Yeah, but it's so interesting. I guess my perspective of what a missionary could be was just so narrow. Like, I thought it had to be, someone who went out to some super remote village and lived in a stick hut and ate with their hands. Like, that was my perspective, even growing up as a missionary kid. And I just had it all backwards. Like, God works in such really unique ways.
God wants all of us to be missionaries.
Yeah, exactly. It's you tell people about Jesus. You love Jesus. You love people. You tell them about him. Like,
whichever community you're in.
Yeah, exactly.
Whichever country you're in.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Do you want me to share about the Surfer's Bible, how I got it?
So 7 years old. You're in Africa. Your whole family's full-time missionaries. You guys are getting raised abroad. I know you got a great African accent, but I'm not going to make you speaking it on this podcast. You did a little skip for us, a little treat. And so if you guys want to hear Reed's African accent, you're going to have to come to a camp out at some point in time in the future.
Maybe I'll read you my favorite verse or something like that.
Okay, sounds good. So obviously, your parents are believers. You're growing up in a Christian family, but someone gives you this Christian Surfer's Bible while you're over there.
Yeah, so we had recently moved back to Africa after being in the States for a few years. So this was 2005, 2006 when we moved to West Africa in Ghana. And I was homeschooled there. Everything about West Africa, when I moved there, I loved about Africa, but I hated about my life. I didn't enjoy homeschool. There was a lack of community. There's a lot of things that I was wrestling with at that age. Nonetheless, I got this Surfer's Bible in 2006. And it's funny that on the inside cover of this thing, there's a business card from Christian Surfers, Jacksonville, Florida. And it has a meeting time, a date, and
you're getting
location.
that in
Africa. In Africa, and I still have no idea who gave me this Bible. It was a guy that came out on a team though and stayed with our family.
And brought that with him.
Yeah, as a gift. So my dad got one, I got one, my brother got one, my sister. So yeah, and it's funny because that's right about the same year that I just totally started running from God, like altogether just going the opposite direction.
Pulling a prodigal son.
Yeah, basically. I wanted to taste the world. And I did. And everything that my parents had taught me, and it's nothing that my parents did wrong or anything like that. It's just I hadn't really owned my faith. I hadn't ever sat down and questioned, like, okay, is this whole Jesus thing real? Is the Bible real? Is there God? Like I really hadn't owned any of that.
It was just your parents' thing, and you were along for the ride. Yeah.
And a lot of times missionary kids sort of feel like, I know I mentioned this in our breakout session, but they feel like a piece of luggage sometimes, because the calling is on their parents and they obey God and they move and they do what they're called to do. And the kids are just kind of along for the ride. So it's a soft spot in my heart. And that's kind of how I felt.
Kids,
yeah, that's exactly how I felt. So got this Bible, was super drawn to it just because, honestly, the testimonies in here with the pictures and the, pro surfers and their favorite verses, like, it's just, it's perfect, really, for someone who's surfing or learning how to surf. Like, and all I cared about was photography. And there's super awesome pictures in here. So
did you know that you were going to end up in media, in ministry?
I knew at that time because I was super passionate about photography. I had a lot of people come alongside me and invest in my life, like buy me gear, give me scholarships to go to school and study film and photography, graphic design, stuff like that. So I was really drawn to it. And it helped that I was going to these really unique places. So I had, content from some of the coolest countries in the world, just being a missionary kid. I was very fortunate to experience that.
Wow.
So definitely knew I wanted to do something with it in the future.
Yeah.
So
let's go back to getting that Bible, because you're just learning to surf over there. Your dad's teaching you. Someone comes over from clearly Jacksonville, Florida, gives you a CS Bible with a Christian Surfer's chapter business card on the inside with some information, but it doesn't have a name on it. It just has chapter information. So, but you kind of want to go off in your flesh's direction with the world.
Yep.
What brought you back to him?
You know, just to be candid, I was tired of waking up in my own vomit and in houses I didn't recognize, or it was miserable. You got to a point where it's just like the conviction,
partying and
the conviction about anything wrong is just out the window, and you're just like, that's who I am, you know.
Yeah.
You just get so comfortable with being uncomfortable that you're like, oh, this is what my friends do.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do, you know. And it's so easy to get caught up in that, and it's fun, like, you know what I mean. No one, like, it's
Feels good to the flesh,
right? Exactly. And I didn't have really, I guess, people that I personally trusted in my life at that time to talk through that stuff and ask questions.
Yeah. Were you still abroad when this? You were?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
So
made it really easy because the drinking age was a lot lower.
Over there and then it was here. Okay.
Yeah, and if you get caught doing something, you just pay the cops. You know, like it's super corrupt. So it was like very, very easy to live that kind of a life.
Wow. And your parents had no idea?
Well, I think they had a hunch. I look back at it now and I'm like, I wasn't fooling anybody.
Yeah.
I thought I was.
Yeah.
I really thought I had it figured out.
Living a double life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. And it wasn't really until college, my senior year of high school, I noticed where all of my friends were going. And I really had a hard time getting into schools. And so I applied for a bunch of like random schools.
Over there or over here?
No, it's stateside.
Okay.
So my plan was to come back to the States for college. And my grandparents live in Texas, and there's a little Bible school pretty close to their house. And I was like, well, I mean, maybe I should put an application in there. Like, I need to get my life together, you know? And I thought, man, this would be a good opportunity to do that. Probably a good space to do that. So I applied and I got in. And funny enough, Priscilla, my wife now, was going to the exact same school. And we grew up as best friends. This is one thing I forgot to mention. When we moved to Kenya in 1996, I met her when I was 4 years old on the field in Kenya.
No way.
Yeah, and we grew up together, like middle school, high school, living next to each other. Like there was our house, a fence, and then their house. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
you had no idea you were going to get married and have kids together?
No idea. No. It's funny because we liked each other, like on and off.
Yeah.
It was this like give and take. But we never dated till college, till university.
Did she see you kind of go off when you did the Prodigal Son tour?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And interestingly enough, in my deepest and darkest moments, a lot of the times, she would be the one I would talk to about that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And vice versa. When she would break up with an ex or something like that, she would naturally come and talk to me because we were best friends. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool. We had a really unique relationship growing up. It was like I kind of felt like her older brother. I was the guy that would like push the guys that liked her up against the locker, and you know,
really?
If you hurt her, I'm gonna kill you. You know, like I was that guy.
Yeah.
So,
you wanted to protect her.
Right. Yeah. I was like, I had like an older brother syndrome with her.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because super protective, and I just felt like she was really close all the time.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to the same school in Texas.
So you guys both graduated high school abroad.
At the same school. Yep.
At the same school, and both moved to Texas.
Yep.
To go to attend the same Bible school.
Yep.
You can't make that stuff up.
No, and it gets even more crazy because we started dating first semester of freshman year, and about halfway through the semester, I had this hunch like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be here. I'm
at the Bible college.
Yeah, I barely passed high school, and I was, I don't know how I stayed in college my first semester. I struggled a lot with the politics and the Christianese and all of the, you know, the culture that comes with Christian community. I really struggled with that. And it's part of the reason.
Do you think it was hypocritical? Or
I think so. A lot of it, yeah. I think a lot of it was a posture of my heart. But also I think now I can see hindsight, you know, hindsight's 20/20, and you look back at that and you're like, dude, I actually was asking all the right questions. I just think I was asking the wrong people. And so I think that's where I have to look at this and go, man, I was in a good space. I didn't treat it well. If I would have actually sought out the correct people to ask the questions I had, like, okay, well, can you explain to me how the earth was made? Right? Or, okay, yeah, Jesus walked on water, but how is that possible? You know, and having someone sit down and walk through this book with me and explain, like, there are things that we don't understand, but, you know, I didn't really have
faith
that.
comes in.
Yeah. I usually got the, like, you know,
textbook Christian easy answer.
The textbook Christian
believe or
yep. Well, you know, faith, brother. And it's like, that's great. But for a new believer who's stepping into this, it's like,
you really
doesn't make sense to me.
You really wanted to explore it.
Yeah.
And so when did that start happening for you?
First semester of college, I was asking all kinds of crazy questions. Like, do you think that there's another earth with Christians on it? Mm-hmm. And like, my professors would look at me and be like, I thought you were a Christian. This is a Christian university. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. You're a missionary kid. You got to be a Christian. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. Well, that's great for them to be challenged. And that's apologetics 101 right there. So, and then you're with Priscilla. Are you still kind of partying at that time?
Yeah, I was. Not as much because I was removed from the crew that I kind of ran with. I was removed from the ability to party so easily, especially being in the States, right? Drinking age jumps by 3 or 4 years.
Living with your grandparents.
Yep, grandparents. I'm at a Bible college that has a curfew. I mean, we would get fines for having holes in our jeans, like stuff like that.
Whoa.
So it was very different. I stepped into a different world
Hopefully you
altogether.
get fines for having holes in your wetsuit.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you just bought a new one for the camp out.
I had to.
We got to get you some good industry bro deals. But
Hey, are you a young, frothing surfer who loves catching waves and sharing your faith with others? Do you want to make a difference in your surfing community and help others discover Jesus? Then you need to join Sea Salt, the Christian Surfers Advanced Leadership Training Program. Sea Salt is a program designed specifically for young surfers who want to develop their leadership skills, grow in their faith, and serve practically on the ground in existing surfing communities. You'll get to go on road trips, learn about theology and mission, and have loads of fun with other young surfers who share your passion for Jesus and the ocean. Sign up for Sea Salt today.
And in that whole time, are you still surfing?
No, and that's what was like, I think that's the only year in my life that I went almost an entire year without surfing.
Okay.
Being in Texas. There were a couple times I took trips to like Galveston.
Yeah. We used to have a chapter down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might still do.
Yeah, I know Lison's working on it. We'll see.
There you go. I mean, we got Great Lakes. We got all sorts of different places now in the States, and future wave pools coming. So you're not surfing a ton. You're really exploring your faith. And when did it really become real for you? Like, hey, I know without a shadow of a doubt now that Jesus is real. And He's my personal Lord and Savior.
I had moments in chapel. And it was funny because I was still in that very like rebellious stage of like, I don't know. This just seems like a big cult.
Yeah.
I just
doubting.
I was very doubtful. I was very skeptical and I was very critical. I grew up in a place where you watch kids digging in a trash can to find food or snacks or candy or whatever, right? And then you've got someone on stage at a church in the States that's preaching about humility and all of this stuff, and then you got the lights and the smoke and so I was like, I had this perspective growing up of what poverty looks like and what real humility looks like, and then I come to the States and I've got this totally different culture and dumping thousands and thousands of dollars into production, and so I really struggled with that. So
one looked like performance and the other one was just real life.
Yeah, I guess the priority of importance of like what's actually important, what really makes a difference in the world. So with that in mind, that was kind of my mindset with this new transition into like, okay, I'm going to start exploring my faith. That was second semester into college. It wasn't really until my third semester, which was at a totally different school, when I was like, dude, for sure, God's real. Like 100%. And
what changed for that revelation?
I think I had encounters over and over and over that I couldn't ignore. There were times where I would be sneaking out of my dorm room to go smoke, and I'd be standing there in some back alleyway, you know, like this, and I felt like a voice in my head, like, take your shoes off. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, who is talking to me, right? And I did. And there's this drunk driver that peels around the corner, and it was just like really weird stuff like that. And he's reciting scripture to me, but he's drunk, and I'm like, what is going on? Then the whole time I'm trying to go to bed that night, I'm thinking like, dude, what in the world? Like, a drunk guy knows more of the word than I do. Mm-hmm. This guy used to be a pastor, right? I had all these weird encounters with strangers that kept like pushing me closer and closer to God, and moments where I would hear his voice, and I just over and over and over was confirmed, like, yeah, this is all real. This is all so real.
Yeah.
God started speaking to me.
This whole gospel thing.
Yeah, my heart started becoming tender. Like,
Holy Spirit.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. And I think that was like...
So you're early 20s at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, early 20s, yeah.
So you survived college.
Well, it's crazy because when I thought I was going to be like leaving that school, I was like praying, God, and this is really the first time I was like actually praying and asking the Lord for something with my own faith, not this backpack faith. And I started praying like, God, if I'm supposed to be at this school, I need a sign. Like, show me that I'm supposed to be here. And I kid you not, Mark, a week later, I get a letter in the mail from the school that says, please reconsider your academic enrollment at this university for the next 2 semesters. And I got kicked out. So I was like, well, shoot, there's my answer.
Yeah. Do you do the way they looked at your performance, or?
A lot of things.
Yeah.
I got all kinds of fines for chapel and missing class. And
got it.
I think I had a 1.2 GPA by the time I left that school.
Yeah.
So it's all.
So God gave you the sign, and you're like, okay, God, I'll take that.
And what's crazy is my wife, so my girlfriend at the time, Priscilla, she knew she wasn't going to be there because they didn't have her major.
Okay.
And her major at the time was missions. She wanted to get a degree in missions work.
Yeah.
She knew that's what she wanted to do. But she had always had this hidden like love for writing, like sharing stories, publication, journalism, public relations, right? And I kept pushing her like, you really need to find a place that will like sharpen that. And it wasn't the school we were at because they didn't even have that kind of department.
Right.
So she applied and got into another school. We didn't talk about it because we knew that meant we were going to have to break up, because I was like, I'm not doing long distance.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. I've done it before.
More than likely, you'd have to go to one school and she would have to go to a different one.
Yep. And at the time, I was dating my best friend.
Yeah.
And I was just petrified of that conversation. I didn't tell her about the letter for weeks.
Yeah.
And it finally
came. The school sent you.
Yep.
Yeah.
It finally came to this spearhead moment where we both just sat down and we're like, I mean, it was like almost on the count of 3, like we were like, I'm leaving. And we were like, whoa, what's going on? She's like, I got into a school and I'm moving. And I was like, that's crazy. I just put in an application at a different school because my dad's college roommate called me. He was the dean of the department at the school that I had looked at applying to. And he called me, he says, hey man, I don't know where you're at. You've been on my heart lately. I've got a scholarship with your name on it. I work at a school in Florida. Would love to have you here. And I told her that, and she's like, what's the name of the school? Funny enough, it ended up being the exact same school. We were like, oh my goodness, dude, this is nuts.
Is that a Christian university in Florida where you guys live now?
Mm-hmm. Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida.
And you guys didn't talk about that?
Not at all.
In Texas prior?
Yep.
Okay.
We're so scared, dude.
Yeah.
We're so deeply in love and just like chased each other all over the world. And then it was like, oh, now it's going to end.
From 4 years old, just growing up, next door to Bible school in Texas, and then to Florida.
Yeah. And then we were so scared to tell each other. Well, and when we did,
but God knew the whole time.
Oh my gosh, yeah, dude, for sure.
I mean, Hollywood can't even make this stuff up.
No, dude, it's crazy. Our whole story is just wild.
10 times better than anything you see in Hollywood. So
yeah.
That's there we go. We got sound check outside.
Oh man.
Happening for the Christian Surfers warm up worship team here.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is just giving me goosebumps here. So you know, you're not surfing. You've kind of come back to faith. You've got this Christian Surfer's Bible, this crazy divine appointment, and you know, God's story, and God bringing both you and Priscilla. So you're not married at this time yet. You're still dating.
Yep.
You guys both go to this new Christian college in Lakeland, Florida, which is where you guys are at now, that has her major in missions and a major in media for you.
Yep, wow. I majored in communications. I actually changed my major about 6 times by the time I had graduated. I was just kind of all over the board. I knew I was supposed to do media with it. But luckily we got plugged in pretty quickly when we got there. Before we moved there, we really couldn't have even pointed to Lakeland on a map. Like we just,
I know,
both of us culturally, like the United States was just a foreign territory.
Because you guys didn't grow up here.
Oh, we didn't know anybody there.
Yeah, could have been Great Lakes chapter in Michigan or Wisconsin. Right, you're like, oh, Florida.
Yeah. So my grandparents that lived near the university in Texas packed us up in their minivan, drove us across the state, got us set up in our dorm rooms, got us all situated, and then headed back. Yeah. So we started school there. Both of us got plugged in pretty early in a like volunteer scholarship position on the student leadership team. So I started in the like magazine photography department, and then she started in the magazine like writing department.
Yeah, journalism. Yeah.
Yep. So we worked on a student magazine together for pretty much all the years that we were there, and just what I learned there, the things I got to experience. We were responsible for a lot of the branding and marketing that the university did as students. It's a really unique program that they put students through. And so we got real world experience before we graduated. And so both of us were pretty certain, like, okay, this is the field we're going into when we graduated. And we did.
Wow.
They hired her before she graduated college full-time with benefits. We ended up living in a little 800 square foot apartment for about 2 years.
When did you guys get married in that?
We got married in 2014.
Okay.
So I was like, everyone called me dad. It was kind of funny because I was like the old guy, and I did the 5-year college tour.
Yeah.
So I would always show up, and I'm married, and I would like drive to school and like whatever. It was weird. Ended up finishing college and then worked in all different kinds of jobs. I worked at vinyl shops and
random.
But all media related, all apparel related, all like things that weren't connected. Yeah. But now it all kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
We bought a house shortly after we got married, about 2 years after we got married. It's funny because we looked. This is another like really.
So you're still not surfing at this time?
Oh yeah, I'm in Florida. Yeah, I picked it right back up. Moved to Florida and I was surfing all the time.
Okay, so you would drive from Lakeland to Daytona.
About 2 hours. Yeah, about 2 hours to Cocoa.
Okay.
Hour and a half, 2 hours. Cocoa, Second Light, Satellite Beach, Ponce Inlet. Yeah, that was.
And did you have your Christian Surfer's Bible with you that whole time?
Yep, the whole time. Yeah. It's
then
funny
because
did you
ever think to go like, hey, I want to reach out to Christian Surfers?
So that's what's crazy. If you fast forward all the way through college, started really pursuing the Lord, got very serious about my relationship and my walk with Christ, rededicated my life to the Lord. This was the Bible that I was reading. I got hired at the university that I worked at to actually run the department that oversaw that magazine team and that marketing team. They called me years after I graduated, and they were like, hey, we want you to manage this department. And I very graciously accepted the job. Worked there for about 6 years. 2 years leading up to my resignation after working there for 6 years, I felt this stirring in my spirit, like God is just gonna do something wild. And I could not shake the feeling. For 2 years, I was like, man. And I was so happy with what I was doing. I just loved my job. I loved the people I worked with. I loved where I was at. I was afraid of us having to pack up and move. Like all of these thoughts were stirring in my mind. And finally it just got to a point where it's just like, you couldn't just shake it. Like you couldn't put it in the back of your mind anymore. And I knew I had to do something about it. So I carried my resignation letter around for like months with me. And finally woke up one day and my wife was like, I think today's the day. And so ended up resigning, turned in my resignation letter, and man, it just was like so wild. And I remember sitting across from my supervisor and she was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. All I know is it's not this.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lord's calling me out of something.
She's like, you were making good money.
Yep.
You got bills to pay.
Yep.
And you got
kids
stability.
at that point.
You already had kids.
The 2 kids. Yeah.
And why are you resigning?
Yeah, exactly. She just couldn't wrap her head around it. She's supportive nonetheless. She was like, I mean,
was this a Christian media company you were working at?
No, this was at the university.
Okay,
that we went to.
School, yeah. But it's a Christian university.
Yep,
right,
Christian university. Yeah. She said, you know, if God's telling you to do that, I'm gonna side with you on this, and yeah, I'll accept your resignation. And so went into a 2-month period of just kind of like doing random side gigs and jobs, shooting for off-road companies, marketing companies, flying across the United States, doing all kinds of random monster truck rallies and whatever, right? Fun stuff that
This is why you got such a cool rig that you drive around. Yeah, you worked in that industry for a little bit.
Yeah, it's true.
The ultimate camping rig that...
Now I can cook pancakes on the beach for CS.
That's right. You've definitely done that for many of us, and skip surfing and just serving all of us on the beach at a Christian service camp out, making pancakes out of the back of your truck. And so you're back surfing, you come back to faith, you married your childhood best friend.
Yeah.
You've got kids now. You're living in Florida, in Lakeland. And where did the connection with Christian surfers come in your life?
So I remember my grandpa telling me in this season, because he's sort of like one of my closest mentors, and I called him and told him what we were walking through and how I felt the Lord speaking to me about resigning. And he says, you know, I knew something crazy was coming. I've been praying for you, and you've been heavy on my heart. He said, I really feel like the Lord's telling me to have you pursue a crazy idea if you have it, whether that be a business dream, or you want to invent something, or you want to, you know, whatever it is. I just feel like the Lord has just got you right where he wants you, and you need to pursue that. And I'll never forget, I had this crazy idea. I was going to bed one night, and this was sitting on my nightstand, and I looked at that Bible going, man, I wonder who made this. Like, I wonder who actually, like, physically produced this. Like, who put,
Bible,
who did these interviews, who shot these photos, like,
who put this together?
Yeah, who put it together? I want to know who this is. And so the next morning I started flipping through the pages and just trying to find information about it. And right there on the back cover, there's the CS logo.
Yeah.
And I was like,
who's that?
Man, Christian surfers, what the heck? I should look them up.
You're wearing the hat now.
Yeah, now
you're full-time staff. John O'Bailey, who's that guy?
Yeah, bro.
So
I get on the website.
You just Googled Christian
surfers and looked for a chapter that was somewhat close to me and found a phone number.
Yeah.
And just dialed the phone number, and I was like, dude, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to do it.
Just going to call this random number and see who picks up.
Yeah, Colby picked up. Yeah, Colby picked up the line. She's like, hey, what's up? I'm like, hey, crazy story.
Colby in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because this is the business card that's stapled on the inside. It was Jacksonville. So I thought, dude, maybe I should call a Jacksonville chapter. Yeah. It's close to me, right?
Yeah.
I want to tell them about my testimony. I want to tell them my story.
Yeah.
And so I did.
That the Bible had on your life. Yeah.
I told them, and I told her.
And you had resigned by now.
I had resigned, yeah.
So you were jobless.
Totally jobless. Yeah. And I remember her listening to my story, listening to my testimony, and being like, man, this is just crazy. The life that you've lived, and it's just wild. I feel like you need to share your story with David. And I was like, yeah, great. I'll talk to
our
David.
national director for the United States.
Right. At the time, I just had no idea who anybody was or anything about the organization. So I ended up talking to David the next week and talked to him for like an hour and a half, it seemed like. And
just to find out what Christian Surfers was.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was funny. He was asking really, really intentional questions, and I wasn't super used to that, especially.
Did he know that you had a media background?
No, so that's sort of how I started unpacking that with him, because I think at the time they were looking for somebody to step into a media role as a missionary. And so I started just kind of sharing my heart, how I grew up as a missionary kid, and these are my sweet spots: photo, video, graphic design. And it's my wife does journalism, and she has a public relations background. We can do social media. We've had some experience building websites. Like this is kind of like our wheelhouse, and we know that the Lord's going to use us some way. We just don't know what it looks like yet. And he was like, dude, we've been looking for someone to do media. Let's keep this conversation going. Yeah. So
and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, just about 3 years ago. In January, it'll be 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So I blinked my eyes, and a couple weeks later, I'm sitting across from him at his dining room table in Huntington, and they're interviewing
So you fly
us.
out to meet him?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was just blown away. Like, everything just moved so fast. And all of the stuff that I struggled with in the Christian world seemed to completely disappear when I would go to CS events, right? Because I got to visit the CS Huntington chapter while we were there.
Yeah.
We did a Degree 33 demo day. I got to shoot photo and video for that.
Yeah.
And I was just blown away at the authenticity of everybody in CS. And I was like, man, these are my people. Like, this is it,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Surfers down to earth.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
At least these guys are. Wow.
So
that was your first interaction with, and then you basically flew home when God gave you a new job.
Yeah, essentially, David let us know. He's like, listen, I want you guys to pray about this. The job's yours. If you want it, go raise your support. And we were like, dude, what is going on right now? So all that to say, God has a sense of humor, because now we're full-time missionaries with CS.
Wow, praise
it's crazy,
God.
Dude. It's crazy.
We are so blessed to have you guys on staff and to be able to serve Jesus and the kingdom of God with you. But on that note, Reed, as we wrap up here and get you back to your family, and so you can go back to shooting the amazing photos and videos and interviews and event recaps that you do. But how can people be following you? How can people be praying for you? And how can people be supporting you in this role with Christian Surfers?
Yeah, man, prayer's like such a powerful tool. And I think for us in this season, we just started homeschooling our kids, which has been such a unique thing for us to have that amount of time with them. So just be praying for us with, in that season. It's just so pure and awesome, and we love it. The downside of it is that we travel a ton, and sometimes I travel by myself. Just bringing the
Christian
whole
Service
crew.
has a lot, mission trips and just events, campouts like this. Ton to go. You probably have a couple events every month.
Yeah.
That you traveling to.
Yeah, I mean this season's really busy. Sometimes it's slow and whatever, but traveling is not easy, especially when you're away from the family. So that's another thing that we ask for prayer in. Obviously, financial support is like a huge one. That has been the probably most challenging thing about our role. But I'll never forget what my dad always told me. He will never call a missionary without calling a support team around them. And we have just been absolutely blown away at what God has done with random people we don't even know. They come up to us and they're like, hey, we believe in what you're doing. We love you. We love CS. We want to be a part of what you're doing. And we have not had a single bill that hasn't been paid since we stepped into this. And God's economy is so backwards compared to how we see it. He just provides in such different ways, such unique ways. But yeah, I mean, be praying about that too. That's something that it's a constant, seems like an uphill battle, but it's so beautiful, just the way that God works.
Trusting in God for his provision.
Absolutely.
So people can go to christiansurfers.com, go to the button tab, donate, and find your name on the staff page.
There's a tab called Our Staff, or Our Team, I think. Yeah. And you click that, and there's a list of all of our staff members that you can support if you feel led.
What does your mom and dad think about your testimony?
Oh, man.
We got to send those podcasts when it comes out.
He's going to, he'll be our #1 viewer. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
They're blown away, dude. And it's funny, my dad had a lot of interaction with international CS chapters.
In Africa?
Actually, like in El Salvador.
Okay.
Not necessarily in Africa, because he does relief and development work for Convoy of Hope. So he
great
traveled a
organization.
ton. So he actually got to interact with a lot of the CS chapters in his role as a missionary. So
on the ground delivering.
Yep. Yeah, relief
to the
supplies
community.
when hurricanes or cyclones come through.
Yeah.
So it's kind of neat now. It all just went full circle, and they're just really proud. And I think they kind of knew all along that eventually I'd come home. Eventually I'd come back, and God was just going to do something really neat. And I'm just so grateful that I guess people were just patient with me. The big thing for me, when I ended up coming back to my faith and getting serious about pursuing the Lord, was having people that seemed to always be one step behind me, like, oh, is he ready? Oh, is he ready? Is he there? You know? And when I was, they were there to fill in the gaps and fill in the questions and, you know, walk through this book with me that I didn't understand. My youth pastor, my parents, my wife, you know? So, yeah, I think that's powerful. That's neat to have that kind of a community.
Yeah, that's so cool. So Priscilla's full-time now with the kids, just homeschooling and helping you out in your role.
And she's full-time with CS now as well.
Wow, so both you dual tag team, dream team.
That was one of the things in our interview. I was like, you know, I don't want to do the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing for our family. We want to be used as a family on mission,
together,
right?
Yeah.
When
not you off doing here and your wife's
and
off
I get it.
doing
Some people's schedules, it's a different situation.
Right.
For us and the way that we were raised and how we want to live our lives and the work that we want to do for the kingdom, we were like, no, if you get one of us, you get all of us. And that's just kind of a non-negotiable line in the sand. And
a family package deal.
Yeah, and it's been this beautiful like dance between work and homeschool, and you know, it's just so cool, man. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, we scored with you guys, and it's an honor to serve alongside you, brother.
Thanks,
is it just Reed, REED at christiansurfers.com?
R.Burr. R.BURR at christiansurfers.com.
If you want to get in touch with Reed, one of my heroes here in the Christian Surfers ministry, you could slide into his DMs or shoot him an email. And please be praying and support his family if you can. Beautiful family. Reed, thank you so much for taking time out of the busy weekend here at the Outer Banks camp out. Let's get you back out there shooting photos in the rain.
Appreciate it.
He was flying a drone in like gale force winds earlier.
We got it back.
For the
I don't know if you knew that. We did get it back.
Hopefully he found his drone there. It's so windy and stormy in this northeastern in the Outer Banks. Putting his drone on the line as a media guy. God bless you, Reed. Thank you for all that you do for the kingdom of God. And what a pleasure and honor to serve Jesus with you. God bless you guys, and we'll see you guys soon.